see, life is again, gotta have your goals. I gotta take a shot, now pass me the ball. Always wanna stop me when I'm running the ball. Gonna dust it off, now watch me go. You gotta see it.
Welcome to the Euro Bureau. With me, I've got my esteemed colleagues from the world of football, none other than Leeds, Sheffield United, Middlesbrough, West Ham star Brian Deane.
How are you doing? All right.
Sheffield United's very own Maddy Cusack. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. And Dunfermline, Sheffield Wednesday legend, none other than Bullen. How are you, Squire?
Very well, thank you.
Love that. Great to see you.
And you?
Indeed. So today we're going to be talking about what's been going on so far in the tournament. All enjoying everything? It's been good?
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, games have been good. You know, one or two disappointed, but overall good.
Love that, love that. I want to take a little bit to think about what's been going on with the England team at the moment. So I want to talk about England's route to the last 16. The whole nation has got an opinion on it. Let's examine how England have done so far. What are you guys thinking? What are you saying?
You're looking from a neutral's point of view.
I'm looking from any
honestly,
point of view.
right,
I want to hear what you got to say first.
So from the outside looking in, from north of the border looking down, I think the team and the manager's getting really tough time at the moment, and I don't really understand why. You've played 3 games, you've got 7 out of 9 points, you've got 3 clean sheets, you're top of the group, you're through to the next round, job done. Now I understand people want to play free-flowing football, and with the players that you have in that squad, I think they are capable of a lot more, but he's done what it says in the tin. He's got you through to the next round. I think the next round is going to be a tough one for you. Looks like Germany, but we'll see how results go. But for me, I think England are warming up and getting stronger, and I think the first half against the Czech Republic, I think you're slowly getting there and looking a lot more lively.
So I'd like to look a little bit on England's route to the last 16. Everybody's got an opinion on it. It's been quite exciting and it's been quite anticlimactic as an England fan. Firstly, I'd like to look at England's game against Croatia. We predicted Gareth Southgate to start his favoured team, or what he believed to be his favoured team. How do you analyse that?
Yeah, I mean, look, you talk about his favoured team, but you have to also realise that you have to take the opposition into consideration. So, he played Kieran Trippier as a left back, and that might have been to cover the spaces in between the midfield and the defensive situation.
Yeah.
There's little pockets of space now. Kieran Trippier, as a right footer, his first movement's going to be infield, and so that covers that space next to the centre back. If you look at the next game, he played he played what he felt was something that was going to produce a higher tempo.
So with Shaw and Reece James on either side of the flank.
So the ball's getting played in front of him then, and they're looking to go forward. And that's the attention to detail. You know, we only have the benefit, I feel, of looking at a sheet of paper with players. You know, they have everything in front of them.
Dino, do you think he went for more experience for that first game? Given that on paper Croatia was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You mean he wanted to start comfortably and get that in the bag?
Yeah, I just think going for Trippier over one of the other two. I think obviously he was missing Harry Maguire injury-wise, but he's gone for, other than Calvin Phillips, I think he's gone for a pretty experienced side who have almost been there, done it, so to speak. You know, starting Sterling when everybody was wanting Grealish or Saka or Sancho to start.
Yeah.
I just think that first game is so important in any tournament.
But I think he's also tried to give something by playing Foden, because Foden is,
you're right.
You know, he's 20, he's exciting. He's somebody who we can consider somebody who's going to be able to unlock situations. So he's tried to get a balance there, and that's always the problem. You know, everybody's screaming that we ought to play this. There's a lot on the line for him as the manager and for the team.
Yeah.
So he's got to pick a team that he thinks is going to get a result, in my opinion.
Now, I fully agree with what you're saying here. If we would have gone into the Scotland game, which is a big derby game, and absolutely thumped Scotland, I think the whole country would have been buzzing, there would have been a euphoria, we would have been having glimpses of that Euro 96 moments. But where that game was so lacklustre as a performance from the England team, from the manager tactically, and Scotland, in my opinion, they deserve to get something from the game. I'm not just saying this because Lee's here and I'm in striking distance of him. I do actually believe Scotland played with a lot of passion and they deserve something from the game.
I'll be interested to get these guys' thoughts on the game after, but from my point of view as a Scotsman, I thought a draw was a fair result. I actually thought Scotland shaded the game overall, showed a little bit more passion.
It's a fair comment.
But I don't think we deserve to win the game. Stone should score in the first 10 minutes. If that goes in, the game changes completely. But that performance and result is the one I think that's frustrated English fans and media more than anything, because on paper Scotland were there for the taking, but give credit to the opposition as well. Scotland went out and really did what Scotland do. They stood up to a favourite and got a result where they probably weren't expected to do. But I don't know what, Maddy, I don't know what you think in that game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was the game as England fans. We really wanted England to go out there, be creative, have a really good result, beat Scotland. And I think that's what all the England fans wanted. I think, obviously, as you mentioned before, Lee, being a bit more cautious in the first game. Yeah, granted, fair enough. Let's go get some points on the board, which we did that. And then I think really for the Scotland game, we wanted to see some more creativity and see our flair players really come to the table and be creative and get some goals. And we didn't do that. And I was quite disappointed with. I thought Luke Shaw and James were going to get more forward than they did. And credit to Scotland, they played really, really well. And yeah, I think they were unlucky to not get something out of the game. I think it was a fair result in the end, but I think from an England fan's perspective, that's probably where we're most disappointed.
Now, I don't know how frustrated it is from you guys, but for me as a fan, someone watching the game, we're going into the last game against Czech Republic. We're on 4 points. We're comfortable. Why have we not unleashed the lads? Why have we not let the young players come of age in this game against Czech Republic? Why do you think there's been a reluctancy to unleash some of the young stars at once?
I think, from my point of view, I think on the table was keeping our home advantage at staying at Wembley, and I think that was a massive incentive for us to, again, kind of go with Gareth's thinking in terms of being maybe a bit more cautious. And at the end of the day, I mean, we've topped the group, we've got 7 points, we've not conceded, we've done really, really well, really. And I think maybe that was a big incentive, keeping that home advantage, because I think that'll be massive going into the next stages. Big point.
Dino, do you agree with that, son? What are your thoughts on it all?
Yeah, I think as England manager, you've got to win all your games. It's as simple as that, I kind of, I've looked at in the past. You could have looked at some managers would have thought, well, do we really want to finish top of the group? Because look who's waiting for us. We got Germany, Portugal, and France, and all of those 3 teams potentially could win it. And so he's got a conundrum there. I mean, unleashing the younger players. I can see why because everybody wants to be entertained, but being quite pragmatic in the situation, I feel that Gareth's done exactly what he's had to do. 7 points. Unfortunately, we don't have the kind of everybody talks about Grealish. Grealish is at the beginning of his journey, but we haven't got the kind of flair players that some of the other countries have got. And so to throw them in when they're not ready, it, can cause a lot of pain later down the line.
I think the thing that's frustrating people is him playing 2 sort of more defensive-minded central midfielders. Yeah. If he goes with 1 and then puts the 4 in front, or 4-3-3 side of things, and you've got Sterling and Foden one side, Grealish and Mount there, one sitting midfielder, and you've got Harry up top. I think it's such an offensive. It sends such a positive message to the fan base and the media.
Yeah, but Lee, we haven't got Kante. Now,
this is the point he was saying.
If we had Kante, you could play Kante. I'd take Kante over those 2. Very good players, but it would have allowed another creative player further forward. And so I feel like he's the one who, Kante does such a fluid job in front of that defence that he would allow that. But I'm not sure about the other 2 letting one of them do that job. I like Harry Kane. I'll tell you why.
What do you like about Harry Kane?
His all-round game. He is he's left foot, right foot. He's shown a lot of intelligence. The one thing that I would say that really now, if you look at people talking about Harry Kane being worth 120 million, that's for what he's done in the past. You've got to calculate what he's going to be worth going forward. And it might be 120 million. I don't know.
Would a form in a tournament dictate his value? You're valuing him on past performances.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
The tournament for Harry Kane's value is regardless. It's not going to change it.
No, I don't think so.
He's a quality player, so I don't think that matters. But he's got everything. It's just it's hard to see how you value a player like that personally.
I think with Man City needing a striker as well, like Sergio Aguero's departure, it leaves a big void. Harry Kane is obviously homegrown as well. He'll fill into that quota. And I think someone like City would love to have an English talisman striker. Is Kane good enough for that role, in your opinion?
100%. You look at the opportunities that Spurs create, put him in a Man City team with the opportunities they create, and his finishing ability it's unbelievable. He's having a tough time, and I think he'd be the first to admit he's not had the best of starts to the tournament. But when you look at what he's done in the past, I'm not going to say mediocre because that's unfair on Spurs, well, certainly not as good as Man City, put it that way.
Yeah.
And the guys have got pulling strings in it, you've got Fodens and Sterlings and the lads have got in the Man City squad they're going to create chance after chance after chance, and he's going to score an absolute bucket. You'd put if you were a betting man, which I'm not, you put a tenner on Harry Kane being top scorer next year if he signs for Manchester City. But I think there's a lot of water under the bridge before that comes. Daniel Levy's not an easy character to work out, and he'll get the price he wants.
They say life is a game, gotta have your goals. I gotta take a shot, now pass me the ball. Always wanna stop me when I'm running the ball. Gonna dust it off, now watch me go.
Now this is a section I'd like to talk about called the good, the bad and the ugly. Yeah, don't worry guys, there's nothing you need to worry about here. We're all in good company and good form. This is a little moment where we look back on some of the action in the Euros, what's been going on, moments that you've liked, moments that you haven't liked so much. So I'm going to start you off. I think my good moment quite probably has to be Bukayo Saka and his performance against the Czech Republic. I mean, he's the youngest England player to start a Euro game since Wayne Rooney, since 2004. He got man of the match. He came in, he was special, he looked great. I just liked everything about his performance. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think he brought a real energy to the game, and it was a real bright spark, which I think we've been kind of looking for.
Yeah.
I thought his quality on the ball was great as well. I thought he was excellent when Gareth brought him in.
He's driving at players, giving us a different option to what we've had in previous games. How do you assess his ability?
Yeah, I think he's a very good player. I think, like you both said, he's fluid. You look at him on the ball, you want to watch him play, don't you? And I think he brought that kind of flexibility to the way how the team played. You know, he's quick, he's technically very good, and he gave that extra pass inside, didn't he? I'm a fan of his as well.
Indeed. Anything you can add to that, Lee? Anything you want to...
Never watched the game, I was watching Scotland game, so I saw the highlight from your game, so no, it was great to see the kid get an opportunity, such a young lad, so direct, so dynamic in his play, so good luck to him. I hope he gets another run later on in the tournament.
Indeed. Coming on to the bad, from my point of view, the bad, it's got to be Ampadu's tackle in the Wales game, Wales-Italy.
Yeah.
Such a bad tackle. Yeah, I think the moustache got him a straight red as well. I think that was quite hard for him to deal with, quite Selby-esque with the tash. What are your thoughts on it all?
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I only kind of walked in and saw the replay, and I just thought it was petty. I think that was, it's real lack of discipline for me. Poor challenge. I mean, if you at least if you're going to try and block the tackle, then you get there and you stop. But he's followed through, and that could have been disastrous for Wales.
Yeah.
You talk about petulance at the highest level. Is that something that you think could hamper his career? Players thinking he can't handle them big pressure moments.
I think now you look at him and it will follow him. And it's gonna be up to him now to show a certain level of maturity over a period of time before people forget about that and move on.
I think for the ugly moments, don't know how you guys feel about this, but I want to nominate German coach Joachim Low.
He's still picking his nose.
He's smelling fingers again.
Oh,
He's getting right involved. Everybody saw the footage again. We've all had an opinion on it. Now I know you don't want to talk about it, but I've got to bring it up. It deserves to be in there.
Oh,
it is definitely the most ugliest thing I've seen so far.
You know what? I've not seen it, but I remember 4 years ago he was like chewing away as though he's not had his pre-match.
I'm going to jump in and add to that with his matching outfits of his assistant as well.
I didn't want to steal your thunder. I heard you talking about the matching outfits. There's room for improvement, shall we say. I've got two goods.
Go on, please bring us in.
I've got two goods.
Please share these bombs with us.
And I won't often say this, but I've been quietly pleased on the refereeing performances of the whole tournament.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think they're using VAR quite well.
Yeah.
Yep.
A hell of a lot better than
the
they are in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So overall, there's not many things I think they've got wrong. So touch wood, that continues.
Yeah.
It's been good.
And the other side of it, some of the finishing has been magnificent. Okay, 2 of the goals are against Scotland, but shit, last night's Modric outside the boot.
Yes.
Is it Christensen's fourth
Yeah,
goal for
and
Denmark?
Damsgaard, thought his goal was brilliant.
Oh, my
Unbelievable.
word, some of the finishing's been fantastic. So from that aspect, if you're a neutral watching the game, some of the goals have been great.
Got a bad moment in you?
I don't want to regurgitate it and go back to it, but Christian Eriksen's a bad one. It's not bad, it's a sad situation. And that's
fully appreciate that.
It was a devastating one more than a bad situation.
I appreciate that. Tough thing to deal with for everybody involved, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Quite finally, what was your ugly moment? What you got in there? You can't top my Joachim Low one anyway, so I'm quite relaxed about that, to be honest.
The only ugly moment for a Scotsman is going out the tournament so early on after taking 23 years to get there. Again, it's not necessarily an ugly one, it's just a disappointing one, and we'll be back. We've got the remnants of a young team that we can build on for our future, and it was just nice to be back involved, unfortunately. Short and sweet.
Would you guys like to add to the good, ugly, bad debate? Have you got anything you think we can chuck into the mix? What are you thinking?
I'd say a bad one in terms of, I was disappointed for Grealish to come off early. I was really enjoying watching him play, thought he did well first half.
Fully agree with that, to be honest.
So a bit disappointed that he came off early.
Anything in the ugly side you want to put in there?
Only Joachim Low's outfit.
His outfits.
That's
bang on.
Yeah.
His
bang
outfit or his lunch?
The matching outfit with the assistant and the lunch.
The whole Italy bench is the same with their matching suits and everything.
That must be a new thing.
I've got to say, the Italy team, they look absolutely sublime. They're sponsored by a big. They're sponsored by a big Italian designer. They look like stereotypical Italians, don't they? They look
They
great.
always look the
They look
business,
great.
man. Yeah.
You're not getting away with it. What's your good, bad, and ugly? Talk to me, Dino.
I think the only bad thing for me, I suppose, if you look at the group that Italy and Wales in, I've been disappointed. I was disappointed with Turkey. I thought that they've been poor. They've just basically sat back in the Turkey game, and then I was expecting them to come out. I think Wales put them to school.
Were Turkey exceptionally poor, or were Italy and Wales exceptionally better than what we anticipated?
I think it's a combination.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked last week, didn't we, about Wales and the spirit that they've probably got in that squad. And you look at Bale's on a corner on the far side, and he's cut back and he's come in and broken the box. He's gone over to the other side and done exactly the same. And they've scored. I mean, that's for me, that's poor.
That's schoolboy, isn't it?
It's poor.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Okay. I really enjoyed talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly with you guys. Thank you ever so much. I want to talk about Gareth Bale. He obviously has had quite a mediocre season last year, being loaned out to Tottenham, the return. It didn't seem to go all his way in the initial playing at Tottenham and getting back into the team. Where do we see him at next season, potentially? If I could ask you that, Maddy.
I think he needs to go somewhere where he's happy playing his football. I think over the last few years at Real Madrid, he's not been happy there. We thought that his return to Spurs might see him being more comfortable returning to where he played before. As we've said, it's not quite gone to plan for him, sort of. I mean, I'd love to see him still in the Premier League. Whether he returns to Spurs or not, I'm not sure, but it'd be great to see him being happy playing his football again, because he's still an unbelievable player, which he's shown in the Euros. He's still that talisman that people look up to, and he's an unbelievable talent, one of the world's best players. So for me, I'd love to see him still in the Premier League, but for what club, I'm not too sure.
Do you think it makes it more crucial that he has a big performance at these European Championships? He's 31 now. He's obviously in a shop window massively. The whole clubs around the world are going to be looking at him and wondering, can they get his wage structure? Can they fit it within the budget? Do you think it's crucial for him to really perform at this European Championship?
Yeah, I think so. I think he just needs to. Obviously, everybody knows how much of a good player he is, and like you say, it's a shop window for other teams to say, yeah, obviously his wages and everything else is a massive part of whether he comes to a club or not. But his performances now can maybe show whether he's worth that gamble, worth paying that amount of money for him. In terms of his age, as we've said with a lot of the other players like Chiellini, Ronaldo, they're all playing up until their latter stage of their 30s. So, but yeah, I think it's important for Bale just to keep enjoying his football and hopefully he can find a club where he can flourish again.
It's quite interesting. Like Bale seems to get a lot of stick for playing golf. I'm sure there's a lot of worse things he can do than away from the football pitch and go and have a little round of golf.
Yeah, but I think what people have read a lot into that, and perhaps they're looking at what are his motivators.
Interesting.
And if you're going to pay, him big money on wages, is he going to be distracted? I think that's if I'm a sporting director at a club, and I'm looking to bring in Gareth Bale, I want to be convinced that he's here to play football.
He's got to have downtime though, the lad, hasn't he? He can't just be in the training pitch whipping in free kicks all day, Dino, you know what I mean? Dino's just got him in 8 till 7.
He's in. Just
put the ball in the box, lad, yeah? What teams have really let us down? Who did we expect more from? What dark horses haven't performed? What big countries are struggling? Who would like to start us off?
Maddy.
I think not really let us down, but as we've mentioned, I've been a bit disappointed with the way England have played in terms of I really want them to be creative, exciting,
You're not the only
and they just haven't been.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I think. Well, apart from Lee, he's been quite happy about it. Everybody else has been.
Yeah, just
everybody else has been
more,
quite.
I guess. We always do, though, don't we?
Yeah. Is that us as fans, though? Are we expecting gun-ho football when we should be happy that he's getting 1-0 results?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've done really well, really, haven't we? We've topped the group, we've got 7 points, but yeah, we still want more, don't we?
Football fans by nature are greedy. They'll get a 1-0 win, they wanted a 2-0.
Yeah, you're right.
They get 7 points, they wanted 9 points. So that's natural.
Talking about England, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I'm part of Sheffield Wednesday, and they're all the same, and I know the fan base, they just crave success, and the English fans are the exact same. The Scottish fans, not quite the same. They expect to be disappointed a lot of the time, so when they do get it, then it's nice. Getting to these finals were great, but again, the natural aspect of a football supporter or a sporting supporter, you get greedy after a win. You expect it to be better. You suddenly want a win and the performance, and hey, why not? You always want more. From my point of view, one of the teams that I've been disappointed with was, well, we touched on Turkey in the past, where we were a lot of people sort of dark horses. Poland have disappointed me a little bit. Lewandowski's. I just thought Poland would do better than they are. Now, obviously, they've still got a final game to go as we're speaking, but I just thought they'd be a tougher nut to crack in their group. Turkey as well.
Now, I want to compare this England team to the England team that put chills down the back of my neck, the Euro 96 team. What comparisons can we make from this team to that team of the Euro 96 era?
Again, comparisons I'm not really sure you can make. What I would say about the group from 96 was, comparing to this group, I think they were a lot more experienced.
What, the likes of Alan Shearer up front, Paul Gascoigne, Stuart Pearce, Paul Ince, the
Tommy
governor.
Adams,
Sheringham,
Steve McMahon, and Sheringham.
Adams.
I think there's a much younger group this year. I think there's talent there. on a par. Gaza, another one, sorry, we never even touched on Gaza for 96, but a lot of people are trying to say Grealish is like Gaza or Foden is like it. Nobody will ever be Gaza. Nobody can ever be Gaza. But I'm saying the experience of that England group got them through the sticky draw to start with. I think it was a draw with Switzerland initially.
Yeah. We always draw every game at the start of the tournaments, don't we?
1-0 up against Scotland, lose the penalty. Seaman makes a great save for the penalty, and then Gaza scores a wonder goal, which gets you kicking off. And then the big game for England was the Holland game, and what a wonderful performance, and that really lifted the nation. That 4-1 result really lifted the nation and really lifted it. And as I say, the experience of that group compared to this is night and day. But the quality in the current group could also go on and produce performances like that Holland result as well.
I think what helped that game as well was the save from Seaman, and then to go and score like almost immediately after the Scotland game.
Yeah. Me up. I tried to shift over that.
I knew you was trying to get away from it.
I was trying to go to the Holland game. That's the better game.
We'll come to the Holland game. But yeah, I think the momentum, and obviously the Derby clash, the home nation thing, everybody's excited about it, and the momentum, like from Seaman's save to the goal afterward. It was just everything. It just meant everything. And then the Holland game, like you mentioned, the 4-1 win. Holland was such favourites at the time. The players that they had, it captured the whole country. The point I'm trying to make is, have we got enough about us to recapture that moment, to recapture that form, to repeat that great era?
Yeah, we're in a different era, and I feel that if I look back at the fans then, they were wholly united behind the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Terry Venables could have picked whatever team, they'd have gone out there and supported. I think we have now a lot of opinions, and everybody's now an expert on who Gareth should pick. If Gareth doesn't pick who they want, then you know what? I don't rate him as a manager. This is the era that we're in now.
Yeah.
And so everything for me.
It's a social media era, isn't it?
Yeah, everything's being fragmented now. Everybody was behind. That's the difference for me. 96, everybody was behind it. Everybody was going in the same direction. But now everybody's an expert, and it's doubly tough because
bang on there, pal.
If you're a manager, you do get affected. I don't care who you are. You have to go and fill your car up at a petrol station. You have to go and buy bread. You know what I mean? So you're going to be thinking, well, what are they thinking about the choices I've made? And it does make a difference. So I think definitely in 96, everybody was united. We even had a song. We don't have a song now.
It's a big point. There has been a few song releases, but they just haven't caught on the way that did. That says it all, doesn't it?
Too many opinions.
But again, going what Brian's saying there, could you imagine social media back then after the dentist chair thing?
Oh, it'd been incredible.
Could you imagine the outcry?
I don't think they would have got away with it in this era, the stuff that they probably did in that era. No. Because it's just, like I say, we're in an era where everything's reported, isn't it? Everyone's got an opinion. Everybody can tweet what they think within minutes. Yeah. It's just
different. Back to what Brian's saying, I think the Scotland result united the country. Yeah. And then it just grew after the Holland result.
You're bang on there.
Because there was a lot of negativity after the trip to China and Hong Kong, coming back and the shenanigans that was given, blown out of proportion, by the way. And then a disappointing result in the first game against Switzerland. There was still negativity, still question marks over Venables, and then you beat Scotland and you absolutely thumped Holland. Then that brought the country together. The song came out, everyone was singing.
Maybe that's what we're missing now. Maybe if we'd have beat Scotland, maybe that would have united it all.
Maybe.
So what you're saying is he's somehow affected us having a good Euro. That's what you're really saying, isn't it?
Well, not me personally.
Not him personally.
I would love to take that one, but me brethren.
Yeah, his kinfolk. I think, again, from an England's point of view, we have got a good young team. We've got exciting players, and if we get an injury, we've got the type of squad where a young player can really come in and flourish. Yeah. Like Bukayo Saka, like Jack Grealish, and dare I say, like even Foden, he could be the man to change that tournament and spin things around. Yeah. And then I guess we'll all be talking about how much of a genius Gareth Southgate is, rather than second guessing him.
Yeah.
You've got game changers. You've definitely got game changers.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
That's where, again, from a Scotland point of view, we don't quite have that strength and depth in the squad. where we can really bring somebody on that can change the whole dynamic of a game, whether it's Grealish coming off the bench, whether it's Saka coming off the bench, whether it's Sancho coming off the bench. You've got pace, you've got youth and exuberance, which a lot of countries maybe don't have. So there's the potential there. There is the potential. There's just not the experience of the '96 group, but there's certainly the ability there to go on and produce a performance like the Holland '96 performance.
Why do you think the media are so on the players? Why do you think Gareth Southgate's every move is so under so much pressure and so much scrutiny from the press and the fans alike?
There's just so much expectation, I think, from the fans, and we just want England to do well. And I think, like Brian mentioned, everyone's got their opinion now, and everyone can voice that. So I think that puts an added pressure. You can't really get away from it. You go on Twitter, Instagram, media outlets. It's always there, and everyone's got an opinion. And yeah, I think that of course adds to the pressure. And like I say, everyone wants their team to play, the one that they think should play.
Yeah, I agree. How do you think the lads are switching off at the moment? Like, you guys are all professionals. You've been there. You've been in these big moments. How will they be switching off in the hotel and around the camp at the moment?
Probably a lot of things like computer game tournaments, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Switching off their social media.
Yeah.
That's probably...
So literally just turning out the outside world, turning it off for a while.
Yeah, because you have to. You know, that's got to be I'm sure that's a prerequisite of joining up with the squad. No social media, because it only takes one thing to destroy that camaraderie in the squad. So but there will be that kind of feeling of everybody's brothers. You can't get anything in between the players. For that period of time.
I've hit the nail on the head. Marcus Rashford, for all the good he's done, he's always gone social media, and I've not seen one England player on Instagram.
Big point.
I've not seen it.
Big point.
I've not seen it. But going back again, potentially England could meet Germany at Wembley. Potentially.
You've been waiting to get this in, haven't you?
No, but can you imagine an England 4-1 performance like they did against Holland?
Oh, do you like the whole
Honestly,
country?
Yeah, that could be the thing,
It
like
would.
you said, to unite the nation.
Like it did in '96. If they go out, and they're capable of doing that. Don't get me wrong, Germany are still really tough not to get. And we thought Holland were going to be.
If we do get Germany, the thing is we've still got
France.
Portugal in the mix. It could be
Yeah,
France.
exactly.
Yeah.
It could be. It could
Which all three of them are danger
Tough games.
signs.
All right, okay, a 4-1 against Portugal or a 4-1 against France, like you did against.
I'd
that
take
would
either of
just
them.
explode the whole tournament, especially being at Wembley and everything like that. But it's all hypothetical. Go on then.
Can I ask? I mean, is it that important to play at Wembley? Would you prefer?
I think so.
Would you prefer playing at Wembley or the opposition? Because
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
if you go and play away, for me, England are very strong away from home.
Interesting.
and
you think we've got the players to catch people on the counter? We've got the pace to hurt teams.
I think so.
Yeah,
But it would
yeah.
mean that you wouldn't have to play one of those three
Yeah.
in the last 16.
Yeah.
So I think what is more important?
Is it Wembley the home advantage, or is the opposition? What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's the opposition. When you look at the three group games that England have had, the three teams that the opposition have played against have been a little bit more defensive minded.
Yes.
So there's
Yes.
not the space in behind for your Sakas, for your speedsters up there, your Sterlings and things like that. Now if they do play against Germany in the next round, it's a tough game whoever they play, Germany are not going to sit in. Therefore there is the spaces that England can take advantage of. So I think it will suit England more to play against a bigger nation. I genuinely do. And I hate saying that as a Scotsman. I genuinely do. I think it'll help. And it'll free them up a little bit and give them more space.
Yeah.
Do you think that's psychological as well, though? Do you think that all of a sudden we can get beaten against Germany, or we can get, it's a 50-50 game, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that frees up the players to say, listen, we've got nothing to lose.
But I also think expectation levels from media, from support base, because you've not played brilliantly against the other three games, but you've got results, they might not expect a great performance against Portugal or Germany, which might free them.
I'm just going to come on to this. The fact that we're beating teams or getting points off teams, and we're playing really quite average in terms of how we expect and what we anticipate seeing from the guys. Is it a good thing that when we go up the gears, potentially we've still got a couple more gears to go, and we can then get into form come the latter stages?
you've got to give credit to the opposition. They've looked at England, and I think they know that on paper England are probably a better team, and if you open up to England, they've got players that can punish you. So they've done the homework, and they've set out tactically to sort of nullify England as much as possible.
Yeah.
But England have found a way.
Yeah.
They got their 7 points out of 9. They've won the group. They're through to the next round. But again, I don't know what Maddy thinks. The next round is where the tournament really explodes, and your big boys are playing against the big boys.
Yeah.
And there's not that same sort of mentality sitting in, especially England's potential.
So you think it'll create more chances for England, more space for
I think
England? Our speedsters are going to be involved.
I think there's more opportunity for England
Love
against the stronger opposition, shall we say.
Love that.
Yeah.
What do you think to Mr. Bullen's comments?
Yeah, I agree. I think the teams that we've played have looked to nullify England, whereas the Germans, if we get them or whoever we play, France, Portugal, they're not going to look to nullify us, I don't think. And they're going to come at us, which I think, like Lee said, it'll open the game up and hopefully allow attackers to have some more space in behind, be more attacking. France, Portugal, they're not going to look to nullify us, I don't think. And they're going to come at us, which I think, like Lee said, it'll open the game up and hopefully allow attackers to have some more space in behind, be more attacking. And I think that's where that home advantage might come into our favour. We'll have the fans get behind the team against what will be a massive game, whoever we play. And yeah, I think the next game will be a bit more open, a bit more expansive. Hopefully we might see some more creativity from England and some football that we're wanting.
Whatever way you look at it, teams are not going to enjoy coming to Wembley. The fact that they haven't got a supporter in the stadium,
Yeah,
the fact that it is going to be hostile, the fact that we are expecting as a nation, I just think that that's a plus point for England.
Yeah,
I really do.
100%. And I also think you've not got to ignore the fact that if England were playing away, they'd have to move all their base camp, they'd have to relocate, they're settled now. We've seen on social media I've seen on their Instagram account and stuff, they're doing a lot of stuff, fun stuff for the players. They look really settled. So there's a big point for them staying at the home base too, and I think the players are comfortable. We are playing good football, so, why do you want to disrupt that?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. From your point of view, how do you think England will get on the next stages?
I think the next game's a tough game. I really do. I think France, Portugal or Germany, whoever they meet, is going to be a really tough game. But as I say, it'll be a different dynamic to the game. Their opposition will have a go at England, which will leave spaces in behind. It's tough. England have the players to progress in this tournament. Whether or not they can win it, I don't know, looking at some of the teams that are still left in it. But they're capable of beating anybody on their day with the ability and quality they've got in their squad. But they're also, given the opposition, they could go out next round quite easily.
Do you believe that the management, the team, Gareth Southgate, that they know their best 11 themselves?
Oh, that's difficult because again, we talked about him picking a team that can win against Croatia.
So you think it's a game-by-game process rather than this is the 11 that we're going to play?
I think so. I think he's looking at different positions and he might say, well, who's going to be my best winger against this guy or that guy? Who's going to be, you look at Harry Kane and then you look at the options in behind. So it's more scientific than us guys here. Imagine, I'm sure.
The opposition analysis and data nowadays is second to none. It's absolutely ridiculous, the information that comes in. They can analyse individual opposition players to the nth degree nowadays and pick the right team that can hopefully get an advantage over that player, or a front three that'll get an advantage over that back four or whatever. There's so much, it doesn't always work, but with the information available, there's no excuses. There's no excuses. So.
Yeah, and I think we've got the strength and depth in our squad to be able to do that. We've got the luxury to do that. We've shown with swapping the fullbacks and the way that we've played in midfield. Yeah, we've got the strength to do that. So I think it's been effective so far.
When you think about the depth of the England squad, and you think about Chelsea played Manchester City in the Champions League Cup final, you got one of the best squads in the tournament. You know, no doubt. It's how it all comes together now.
We're looking at some of the other teams in the tournament. Who do you think your money would be on to be there or thereabouts come the latter stages from the teams that have progressed so far?
I think France for me.
Really?
Yeah, I think France. I think Griezmann said in the press that if they don't win it, then that will be a tournament. Yeah, failure to them.
That's a big statement from Griezmann. I'm not going to lie, it's a massive statement.
But I mean, World Cup winners have got to go into it with that mentality, and the players they've got. I've been really impressed with them, and yeah, I think they'll be up there come the final day.
I think the Azzurri, Italy, have been so good, but I want to feel that I want to see them against someone that they're more evenly matched with. It's like a 100-yard sprinter, just caning off and leaving everyone else behind. So I want to see them against some big teams, and I want to see how they handle things tactically with their young squad.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, because I look at Italy and I think, how would they do against France or a Germany?
Yeah,
yes.
100%.
You know, I don't know if they've got that. I don't know if the players can play at that tempo for the amount of time that they'll need to win again against those Belgium as well.
When they've got the threat coming back at them as well.
Yeah, you know, so...
One thing's for sure, it's going to be a heck of a team that beats France. It's going to be a heck of a performance to beat France.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, there's teams capable of doing it, in my opinion, but France, Germany and Portugal are going to be battle hardened for the next round because they've played big lads in the group stage. People have said it's the group of death, but all three are going to qualify. So, as I say, they'll have been up against tough opposition at that point, so whoever meets them next is going to be on the back foot, in my opinion. And for any team to beat France, I think if you beat France in this tournament, you've got a right good chance of winning it.
Yeah.
Personally. Belgium are capable of it. Germany are capable of doing it. I think Belgium, from what I've seen, so Italy have been great to watch. I think they'll fall short a little bit. Belgium are the one that I think are capable of beating France.
Have we been saying this for the last few tournaments about Belgium, though, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
We have. Everyone hypes up Belgium, we anticipate so much, and it just doesn't materialise.
But they got to the semi-finals last tournament.
Yeah, they did.
Do you know,
you're right there.
And the squad's not that dissimilar. I don't think Hazard, for example, has hit the heights yet. You know, he still looks a little bit podgy. I mean,
fair comment.
If he's, you know, as time's going on, he's getting fitter.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
but they've got good depth. You know, they've got a good squad. Little bit worried about them at the back. You know, if you get Mbappe running against that back.
Italy as well. They're great going forward, but
exactly,
because they are older campaigners at the back, and if you've got
forwards with gas,
Mbappe or somebody like that running at you, or Lukaku running at you, it's difficult that. The strikers win you the tournaments at the end. Defence get you to the final, I think. Solid defences get you through rounds and that, but strikers win you games. And if you've got a Lukaku or an Mbappe, you're halfway there.
We spoke about Lukaku already. I mean, how impressive has he been in the tournament? Like we mentioned, the goal scorers, it's a tournament within a tournament. Someone like Alan Shearer would be priding himself on being high up in them goals. I'm sure Lukaku is of the same ilk. He'll be taking that really, really seriously. What have we made of Lukaku so far?
As Brian said before, if you play to his strengths, he's unplayable.
I agree.
And he's proved that so far. He's scored some great goals and played to his strengths. And
he's a nightmare for defenders, ain't he?
Yeah, any defender.
Like Brian said, if you've got him running at you, or you've got to mark him in the box from a corner, you know you're going to have problems.
I think he's really found himself again now going to Inter.
Really?
I think he had a so-so time at Man United.
It just didn't click for him at Manchester United, did it?
Really click, but he's gone over there. And he's really found himself, and I think you can see the benefits of that now. And the way he started this tournament's been brilliant. He's a one-man wrecking ball up there. If he's on form, honest to God.
Could you say that again? I love the way you said that.
But he is, and like we're touching on it, if you got, sorry English one, if it's a Lukaku versus Mbappe final or something, I don't know if they can meet.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a contest.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a contest.
You know, we touched on it last week as well, that, you know, the forwards in this will be looking and thinking, right, who's scoring? You know, Lukaku's sat there on 3 goals. He's like he's a boss right now. You know what I mean? Mbappe's yet to kind of,
Get
you know,
off the
you can
mark.
see that he's coming. But yeah, you know, forwards want to be the main man. You know, you know, Harry Kane was the Golden Boot winner in the last World Cup. You know, he's probably sat now thinking, I want a couple of goals. You know, that affects your mindset. You know, I don't care who says it. When you're scoring goals as a forward, that's the difference. And Lukaku will be sat there, he'll be comfortable. You know, bring it on.
You know yourself, when you're confident and you're scoring, they'll be going off your knee, they'll be going off your back and going in, they'll hit your bum and go in. When you're not scoring and you can't buy a goal at the moment, as Harry Kane seems to be in that situation, does the luck go against you?
Well, what happens is when you're not scoring, you don't feel confident getting into those positions.
Right. So you won't be making those runs.
No, you're not going at 100% into those positions.
I get you.
You know, Lukaku will be going in thinking that I'm going to score, I'm going to score, I'm going to score. You know, it might be that, and I've done it myself. You know, where you make a run. You know, when you're having a bad time. I'm not saying because Harry Kane's on he's on that world level, but you sometimes don't believe the ball's going to come to you, and that's the difference. You know.
So I think. Go on.
Old adage: a striker's only as good as the service he receives.
Big point.
And to be fair, I can't. We're talking about by a goal. Has he had a chance really?
Yeah.
No.
So you've got to create opportunities for him. We touched on earlier what we might be doing next season, and Man City will get chances. But at the moment, England are not creating a great deal of chances either at the moment. So you can half understand he's getting frustrated. He's sort of scapegoated because he's not scored yet, and England not scoring. But are we creating? Are we? Did I say we?
You've weighed yourself in.
You did.
You've brought yourself.
Don't even go there.
He's brought himself over.
But you're rightly. I mean, the guy has been phenomenal, and you know, I'm sure Gareth's seen it as an issue as well, and he's probably looking at how can we get Harry on the ball in the box, in the box.
Yes.
You know, because if he scores a couple of goals, that lifts everybody as well.
You want to see your striker scoring, don't you?
You want to see your striker scoring more so than your fullback, your winger, whatever. If your centre forward is scoring, then everybody's thinking, you know what, we've got a chance because we can just keep it nice and solid here. He's bang on it.
Class is permanent, form is temporary.
Exactly.
So we're anticipating Harry Kane to turn a corner. Hopefully he gets one off of his fire and then just goes on a bit of a spree, banging the goals in. We shall see. I've got to say, it's been a great pleasure to spend a bit of time with you guys on the Euro Bureau. I enjoy your company and your opinions very much. Thank you ever so much. And I look forward to catching you again real soon. I've been James Helder on the Euro Bureau. Thank you ever so much, and we will see you soon.